Welcome back to the Twin Times Podcast, episode 35. Today we have another special guest. His name is Brandon Fairley. We talk about his passion for acting.
I performed. That was my my bread and butter. In a way, I was able to, get out of class. And some days I'm like, no, I'll be about to do maths in my classroom, and all of a sudden now I get a little note saying that, oh, Brandon can be excused. I'm like, yes.
His thoughts on Indigenous and disability representation within the film business.
Telling our stories where it's authentic, it's real, it happened. Music, same as music is important. Artwork, creating artwork is critical. Like any medium of art, in theatre, in film, in music, in dance, it is critical.
And then we also talk about his time with the inclusive filmmaking company busstopfilms.
Yeah, you feel like you belong.
Absolutely.
And I find that to be critical. Like, Bus Stop has opened up the ways. They opened up pathways that not many other disability organisations have done or are able to.
Other than that, let's hop into the episode.
Hello. Hey guys,
how are you, mate? Good, bro.
That's good.
Yeah,
how's the weather out in Adelaide right now?
The weather?
Yeah, how's the weather going?
Are you all right?
I choked him.
The weather right now, it's a top of 33 degrees, mate. She's quite hot.
Whew, that is a hot one. It's actually quite the opposite here. We got about, I think it's around 22, 23 degrees. It's looking that it might storm down here, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully, no blackouts. Knock on wood.
Please don't say that. What made you want to get into acting?
Yeah. So back in high school, before I got into acting, I did music as my elective in year 9, 10, 11, 12, I believe. Yeah, I believe I did it all throughout high school because in class, maybe year 7, year 8, I got in trouble because I would sing and all that in class. I get in trouble, and then the teacher was like, "Oh, we need to do something, Mr. Fairley. What can we do about your son?" And then my dad thought singing lessons. I was like, okay, singing lessons that could work, and went down to Dapto, which is one suburb over from me, and went to a place called Southern Lights Vocal Academy.
Okay.
And I learnt under Evan Kerr. He was my tutor. And I learnt under him for about 5.5 years. And it was a really wonderful experience. We love the same music. He's a big Beatles man. I love the Beatles. Rock and roll. We love that sort of stuff. We used to warm up with a lot of the old rock and roll ballads, Elvis or Jerry Lee Lewis, Chuck Berry, that kind of sort of stuff. And then in high school, I performed. That was my my bread and butter. In a way, I was able to, get out of class. And some days I'm like, no, I'll be about to do maths in my classroom, and all of a sudden now I get a little note saying that, oh, Brandon can be excused. I'm like, yes. So I'd be doing it during school, outside of school. We had concerts where we had year 6 graduates come to our school, to have a look around and sort of check out, is this school the best for my kid, and have a little music room where we'll be performing, and then after that, so just to sort of go after high school, the first year of me finishing high school, so 2016, I finished in 2015, and so 10 years ago, I'm getting old. First year out of high school. So my school was next to an actual performing arts school, because my school wasn't really, was more of a technological high school. More sports, more technology, that kind of stuff. And our school next door was Wollonga High. There were the performing arts, and I met people through there. Caught the back of the bus, at the back of the school, and just sort of socialized and caught up with them, and talked about their passions and their dreams. And they're like, so you do singing? I'm like, oh yeah, do singing, and I love it. And they're like, oh, why don't you do musicals? And why don't you do theatre? I was like, oh yeah, theatre, never tried that before. And I thought, I don't know, why not? I mean, I always loved watching, movies and TV shows before that, but I
Hmm.
don't think it really clicked until probably maybe during the theater era. So yeah, started like first year. First show I did back in 2016. The first show was Buddy, the Buddy Holly story.
Oh
So
yeah.
the jukebox musical, and I had a couple of minor roles in that, which was very fun. Get to sing some classic rock and roll ballads. Get to do a bit of dance choreo. Not exactly the greatest dancer, but it just takes a little bit of time and sort of get yourself into a sort of rhythm. And
Yeah.
I went for smaller roles. It was my first time doing theatre, and I was like, no, I don't want to aim too high for any of the bigger roles, even though it would have been cool to play Buddy Holly. But I think at that time I didn't know I don't exactly have the Buddy Holly look. But the guy who played him had the look. But no, it was a great start. That was in Shahaba at Roof Theatre, and then after that, I did about in that year I did back to back like musicals. I did like no three other musicals in that year. And that was crazy. So the second musical I did at the same place, Roof Theatre, was Saturday Night Fever the musical. So based on the John Travolta film from the 70s,
Yeah.
77,
Yeah.
back when the Bee Gees were just breaking
The
out in that sort of
BGs. Yeah.
disco era. So
Yeah.
that was fun, like jumping from like rock and roll to disco.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went to do the Wedding Singer at another
Oh
company
yeah.
called
Oh, yeah.
IAP. IAP is no longer there anymore, but I did a show with them. Yeah, and the Wedding Singer, that was fun. I got to play a few different characters there. And that was jumped from like 50s, 70s, 80s, and then the last one I did for that year was a very big musical called Miss Saigon, which was set during the Vietnam War.
Oh
So yeah,
wow.
yeah, that
That
was a
would have
very
been powerful.
yeah, it was a very big cast, a lot of extras, playing U.S. Marines, Vietnamese characters. It was it was a massive. I mean, you had the main ensemble, but then
Mm.
you had like the extras where you needed a lot. And yeah, I just said, oh yeah, well, I'm happy to help out, and it was fun. Like it was probably the first time I was actually in a very big big musical. Um, and yeah, that was massive. Like I had a really good time and made a lot of new friends in that. And then after that, just like no, the next year after that, I took a step back. I was like, okay, I did four musicals. Let's just relax now, because I mean, musicals are time consuming. Because it's not like a play where you're learning just your lines and you're learning basically like which direction you're going into, where you're going to stand when you're delivering your dialogue. Um, it's you got to learn the singing, you got to learn like the lyrics, you got to learn the choreo, dancing, you got to learn and also if you have any dialogue in general, then like you got to learn dialogue. And that's about 2.5, usually 3 months of prep to do all that sort of stuff. So that's a long time. So I took a step back and actually did a show called Cannibal the Musical in 2017, and that was my first sort of main not like it was a main role, but not like it was like four ensemble main roles in that particular one, and that was created by the guys who created South Park. So
Okay.
Trey
Yeah.
Parker and Matt Stone. So they
Mm.
wrote the sort of black comedy that's in musical before South Park came out.
Yeah. Right.
And yeah, it's good. It's got like a cult status. Like I mean, you can find it online, or I think it's maybe on some like maybe Netflix or um yeah, maybe Netflix. I think it's a Netflix sort of thing, but you can easily find it on
Mm.
like Blu-ray and something like that online. But I did that at the Phoenix Theatre in Coniston, and that was really fun. That was a really good experience. And then after that, I did my first play, which called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I mean that like that's
Yeah.
like I didn't care what role I got. I was just because I mean this was my first time like auditioning for like a play, and like it's a bit more a lot more heavier. Like I need to read the book because I heard the book is very good, and it's very
Have you
also
watched
very
the
dark.
film? Yeah. Have you watched the film?
I mean, I love the film. I'm a massive
The
Jack
film.
Nicholson fan. Jack
Mm.
Nicholson is a phenomenal actor, and I mean it's sort of why I wanted to go for the play in the first place. I just wanted to be involved in this because
Mm.
it's such a highly popular book and film. It's highly regarded as probably one of the best films of the 70s. And like this the cast. I mean, you had a young Danny DeVito. Danny
Mm.
DeVito was doing
Yeah.
nothing at the time. He was a baby. I was like, holy, I couldn't even recognize Danny DeVito. And then he had
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd. Doc from Back to the Future. I mean, he was in there. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it had a very young cast. I mean, like Jesus, Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, short black hair. You don't have fully crazy white hair as a scientist.
Yeah.
I mean, that was about 10 or 12 year difference. But I'm sure it was probably a wig or they dyed it. But I did that play, and that was phenomenal. Like same place, Roof Theatre. I did a lot of shows at Roof Theatre, but that was a very good show. Like great cast. A very very good close knit crew, and yeah, made a lot of new friends in that as well.
When working in the film industry, obviously you've worked on a lot of stuff. What have you liked about the creative and collaborative experience? And is there any knowledge that you can share
Yeah,
about your experience?
it's definitely, I feel like working in a collaborative and passionate environment was that everyone got along quite well. Like
Mm-hmm.
everyone knew their roles, everyone knew what they needed to do, and if you didn't know what you needed to do, then they went and asked. They actually asked for guidance and assistance. And I like that. Yeah, that, I mean, I want to try and work only on environments that is positive. I don't want to be involved in certain productions if it is considered toxic.
Yeah.
If there are points of harassment, bullying,
Mm.
sexual harassment, any form of a harassment, I would not tolerate that. Because I mean that this is
Mm.
why I have my own company, my own film company as well. Is that I want to foster a very a very careful, humble, like down. I want to make this, I want it to be down to earth, like no, that we're all in this together. No one is above anyone, no matter what your position is on the set. If you're a director, if you're assistant director, if you're one of the producers, if you're a runner, grip, actor, caterer, I want to make sure that everyone on my sets have a positive working experience, that they have a positive time working with me, and that down the track they would love to work with me again. That's what I love about, and like no, it's communication. Communication is key. Speaking to everyone who's involved in this is critical. Because without no communication, I feel like the film set would fall apart because there's like
Mm.
because if you don't know who's in charge and who's running what, it's going to become a mess. And like that's why I want to yeah, I just want to create foster a really good working environment in Wollongong where I'm from, and hope that I can make something, just make art, make something meaningful, something truthful, something to the close to the heart, and that we believe in. I don't want to make it because they make money. I want to make something that that is going to hit people in different ways. Be it from horror, you're scared, you're frightened, or you just you love gore. From comedy, having a laugh, enjoying it with your friends or family. Romance, with your partner or your loved ones, just watching a very beautiful love story. From action, when you just want to sit back and just
Mm.
watch a bit of mindless action, enjoy a bit of guns blazing, explosions, and just I just want to do it. I want to do it for the art. I want to do it not just because, not for the money, but just because I want to make it. I just want to make it meaningful.
Being an Indigenous man yourself, do you believe it's important to have Aboriginal culture represented on the screen to inspire young artists like yourself?
Yes, definitely.
Mm.
It is critical. It is crucial. Our stories where it's authentic, it's real, it happened. Music, same as music. Music is important. Artwork, creating artwork is critical. Like in any medium of art, in theater, in film, in music, in dance, it is critical. And I think, yeah, we're getting a lot more of it now. It's taken a
Mm.
while to get to where we are now, and it's going to be a slow process. Like it's going to take time. I'm still learning more about my culture as well. Like I'm trying to learn more about my roots, about my background, about my extended relatives, about my mob and where I'm from. And I want to also incorporate that into my projects. My life experience, or just bringing other Indigenous folks like myself on board certain projects and have their guidance and their knowledge that I can also incorporate that into certain scripts or plays. There's a few Indigenous artists that are out there, like David Gallopy, another big Indigenous
Yeah.
actor, who basically, I think, yeah, basically began the Indigenous sort of, acting trend back in the 70s, because his first film was Walkabout, and that was during the Oz, like the era which were like what the States had. They had like new wave cinema was what they were going
Okay.
into, and then we had our thing called like Ozploitation. So very low budget, very independently made, and that came out in 1971, the same year that Wake in Fright came out, which is another great film. Personally, my favorite Australian movie of all time, which is a psychological horror film, and that was filmed in Broken Hill, sort of around Sydney.
Mhm.
But yeah, David Gallopy, he's done some big Australian films. He was in Walkabout, Storm Boy, The Tracker, Charlie's Country. He was also in
Was he
Crocodile
in Rabbit
Dundee.
Proof Fence?
Yeah.
Was he in
I
Rabbit
think
Proof
yeah, I
Fence? I
think he
feel like
was.
he
I
was.
think he would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember actually. But yeah, he's done
Mm.
like a lot of big prominent sort of Australian films back then, and then from then like no we've had other Aboriginal artists. We had Aaron Pedersen.
Yes.
His main sort of stuff was Water Rats. He did that in the 90s, which I've heard is a very good Australian drama. And then he went on to do other projects. But I remember watching Mystery Road, and that was came out in
Mm.
the 2010s, and that was really good. That was a
Yeah.
very good cast. And then from that we had like I met actually a few weeks ago. I helped out on a film set down locally here. A couple of people from Sydney come down, and his name was Hamilton Morris, and he's relatively new. He's only done like a few projects from what I saw, but he was in a movie called Sweet Country, which had Sam Neill and Brian Brown, and he won I think in 2018 I think it was a BAFTA award for Best Actor. And then on Netflix, we have Territory that he was involved in, which I heard is a very
Oh
awesome.
yes, yes. That was shot down here in
And
SA.
Yeah,
But yeah, I haven't
yeah,
seen that film yet.
yeah. I heard it's very good. It's on Netflix,
Mm.
and I think it's like 6 or 7 episodes. But I think they're doing it on season two. But yeah, like and I mean, from like it's good that we're getting more Indigenous artists involved, and yeah, in my opinion, yeah, we can do better. Like, it's more about just giving us those opportunities to hear our voice, to listen to us, to just just to hear us out, and hear what we want, hear what we have to say, and then try and put it on something, on paper, on a canvas, on film. It's just we need to, we can do better, but it's getting there. It's slow and steady. It's the
Mm.
same with like with the disability arts as well. Very
Yeah,
similar.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
that sort of leads into the next question. Do you believe that we need to see more disability representation in the
Oh,
film business?
definitely,
Yeah,
Yeah.
1000%.
no, yeah, no, yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, 1,000%. Like, that is true. Like, no, we're getting there. I mean, crap. Like, no, I saw last year. Yeah, last year. Yeah, early last year. What about Sal? And that
What
had
about sound?
yeah, we had it's they had the absolute legend, the
Oh
student of
yeah,
Buster Films, the one that
yeah.
started it all, Mr. O'Dwyer himself,
Yeah.
and he is the second Down syndrome actor in a lead role in
Wow.
Australia.
Yeah.
He's the second, and like I know, like it's something, but I know like Heartbreak High with Chloe Hayden, like
Classic.
she's breaking down barriers, getting there. I mean, the reason why I'm getting more into this was because of Bus Stop Films. Like, Bus Stop Films was my like I'm sure that this would have been a question down in the Bus Stop Films section.
Mm.
But I guess I'll answer it anyway. But yeah,
Yeah.
when I was growing up in because I had those years when I I'm the first one in the family with a disability. I've struggled with that. With like no, like oh, like no, I have four other siblings. They're all fine mentally. I'm like, oh, like why me? Like why did it pick me? That kind of thing. Always, sort of had that sort of denial,
Mm.
or embarrassment. Felt no bad about it. And I had those years of struggling with sort of anxiety and depression and wanting to fit in and feel included and not feel excluded. And like I was watching as I do watch a lot. I love watching a lot of movies and TV shows, and I was just watching. I was like watching characters play people with disabilities. I'm like, do you have a disability? And then you find out that they don't. I'm like, oh, okay, so like you didn't hire somebody with a disability. You just had somebody
Mm.
went to a place, studied their speech patterns, the way they move around, the way they speak, the way they look, and then just incorporate in that into their film. Like Rain Man. You had Dustin
Mm.
Hoffman, or you had Sean Penn and I Am Sam.
Yes.
Um, what other ones are there? Oh, but yeah, you know what I mean. And like, just like there was like
Yeah, I
lots, like
get what you mean, bro.
yeah, and like, well, and I was just looking. I was just trying to find like who is inclusive, who is making projects that are disabled friendly, or is offering people with disabilities a chance to perform or a chance to write, a chance to
Offer
direct.
representation as
Yeah,
well.
of representation.
Mm.
To who is representing us, correctly, like
Yes.
authentically. And I came across Bus Stop Films, and then I watched Be My Brother and The Interviewer, and
Hmm.
those and a very beautiful film. Like I was I was like starstruck. I was just like wow, like this is really good. Like I was just like amazed. I was just like holy crap, what is this company? Who are they? And then I looked to followed their page, and I was just like no, like tell me, okay, like look up more information. Emailed them, like how do I get involved? And then yeah, they said it was like already halfway through the year, so they couldn't join up. But they said like put yourself on the wait list and like apply again for next year. And then yeah, since then this is my fourth year. And it's been also being a participant ambassador as well is also
Yes.
it's a really beautiful experience. But yes, no, we it's the same as the Indigenous representation. We're getting there. Um, it's
It's
taking
going to be a
time.
slow bridge. Yeah, it's going to be a
Yeah,
slow bridge to build.
it's very slow, and like no, the industry is struggling from what I've heard. It's funding is not as much as what it used to be, and it's yeah, it's gonna take some time, but it's just working with the right people. And it's definitely going to be if you can't go through the proper channels of reaching out to certain film companies for to apply for grants from like Screen New South Wales or Screen Australia, any of the big names. Then trying to reach out to community based platforms, and try put the word out from there. If you're applying for if you need funding or if you need to make an Indiegogo campaign
Yeah.
to try and raise funds for certain projects or a project that you want to be an inclusively made project, and that's why I've also made my own film company with my mate Bryson, is because yeah, we want it to be inclusive. I want
Yeah.
to make projects that are exclusively made for people with disabilities. If I have the resources, the means to produce and direct one, and like someone came up to me and they had something written, I would love to give them an opportunity to put that on film or in theater and give them the
Yeah.
and help them produce it and give them that chance to put their word out and show like what they're feeling or how they're expressing themselves and know what you want people to know. Like sort of like walk a mile in our shoe, that kind of thing.
Mm.
Because I mean, like, that's nobody knows. Nobody knows what we go through. They can try and
Right.
understand, but no, but they'll never know until the thing is, it's like no, it's like no, looking at someone in a wheelchair, it's like, oh, okay, I understand that you're in a wheelchair, but no, you don't understand. I mean, unless you get into an accident and then you're also in a wheelchair, then you know the struggles that that person goes through, or someone with Down syndrome, someone with autism, someone with an intellectual disability. Like it's all different, and you can never understand understand how we feel directly. But I think having that platform to screen it, to perform it, and give people those opportunities to sit there and just watch us and sort of know how we feel. I think that'd be critical. I think just like showing that and putting that on will give people more understanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
That's a great answer.
my
Yeah.
question for thank
I
you.
love great answer. Why does representing your culture, the Indigenous culture, in a
Or
way,
your mob.
or your mob in a
Yeah,
way,
that's
as you're describing it, why do you feel it's important to share your story around that? And were you always comfortable with sharing it? Was it a gradual process?
Yeah, I believe it's a gradual process. Cause you look at me and you think, what? You're Indigenous? You don't look Indigenous. That's because just because I'm not black doesn't mean I'm not Indigenous. I mean, I don't know what percentage I am. I don't sort of look at percentages as a way to to claim my Aboriginal heritage.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that's been like I'm like I mean I mean as what we call ourselves. Yeah, I'm a black fella. That's basically that's so what we call ourselves in the world. Like, I mean, yeah, see another black fella, just say hello and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't care. If I don't look as dark or I don't have certain features. I mean, it's not my fault. It's genetics. My
yeah.
mum's black and my dad's white, and
Mm.
like you don't know what's going to happen in the process when when a baby's being born and all.
Yeah,
It's just it's the luck of the draw basically. I guess it's more about just getting people to understand sort of where we come from. So
yeah.
what our people have been through in the last 67 the last 100 100 or more years from from the 1800s to the 1900s
Mm.
to the 2000s and now. I mean I mean we are still like it's funny because I mean when we had when the yes vote failed it
Mm.
it 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 could have been done correctly. Like I think the government at that time was really pushing for it, and I think there wasn't really much understanding or no knowledge in sort of what
Mhm.
they're trying to achieve
There
besides
wasn't
trying to.
enough. Sorry to cut you off, but there
No,
wasn't
no, perfect.
enough.
Sorry.
There wasn't enough explanation, in
Yeah,
my
Yeah, and
opinion.
that's what people wanted. And I feel like that's
Mm.
what it needs to be explained in very great detail. And I mean, I think we're still one of the only countries in the world that still don't have that. No, have native people put on recognized. I believe they got it. I believe the states have got it. I believe Canada's got it. Um, but yeah, I think we're the only country that doesn't have that, and that is frustrating. And I mean, and then besides that point, like yeah, telling our stories, hearing our stories is still, in my opinion, supporting local Indigenous businesses
yeah.
is also good. Like I bought myself a nice shirt this
I
the other
love
week. Thank you.
it.
Thank you. I bought it
Yeah.
from a company called BW Tribal. They're
Okay.
located in Queensland, and yeah, they're local business. And I bought myself a few shirts because I mean this is really good fabric for the warm weather. But I
Mhm.
think yeah, just supporting local business, supporting local Indigenous artists, um, in music, in film, in stage, poetry, painting, just and then, also the news. Like no, the news is a
Mm.
big thing. Like the news, it's what we get every day. We see it every day on our news feeds, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. It's all over. This ain't no newspaper times now. It's all on the touch of our fingertips. These all these news articles and all these you know different news companies, Channel 9, Channel 7, all that sort of stuff.
Do you believe that bus stop films are the leaders in inclusive filmmaking?
Oh yeah, yeah, oh definitely. Like these guys are breaking down barriers that, I mean, like, no, I mean, you have like normal disability agencies, disability
Mm.
employments. Like,
Oh,
yes, like
they're
that.
bullshit, mate. Crap. I've
Oh,
been
yeah,
with a
yeah,
few.
yeah. Like, no, some are good, some are okay. Like, obviously, like they are bad. I mean, they're not doing anything on the scale of what Bus Stop Films is doing. You know, like these guys are more technical.
Yeah.
Like the other organization, technical. No, like some of it, no, might be job providing, but maybe not job providing in the way that you want it to be. Like, no, if you're an artist, a creative like myself, they're not really going to have connections in those departments.
Mm.
They're not going to know anyone from like Disney or Netflix or any film agencies out there.
Or even just smaller production companies within your
Yeah,
area. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, Buster Films, like when they started out, I mean, crap, like they had it was like one student, one filmmaker, Genevieve Clay Smith
Mm.
and Jared O'Dwyer himself. Like they were the pillars. They were the first stones to be to be made. Having I think every Buster film class in every state and territory.
Yeah. It's
Like that's
absolutely brilliant.
like it's taken time, but
And
like that.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
like,
even if you look at the first driving change summit that happened in
yes,
November last year and having everyone come together as one big family and being able to see everyone. I
yeah,
thought that was like a massive thing to go, wow, this is our people, our connections, our community.
mm,
That's right. That's a better word. Our
exactly.
community.
Yeah, you,
Mm.
you you feel like you belong,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely, mate.
yeah, I find that to be critical. Like, bus stop has like opened up the ways. Like, I mean, they opened up pathways that not many other disability organizations have done or are able to.
Mm.
Unless they do a partnership or collaboration with them on a project, that can talk more about their organization. But still, like that's it obviously needs to be for the right reasons.
For
And
sure.
be a bus stop like with writing, with the classes and everyone writing their own, with everyone writing an individual project, a group project together. And I know in a very productive class, and then showing that at the end of the year to all the local independent artists, creatives, filmmakers, directors, writers, you name it. Like it's just like it's opened up so many pathways, and it's also opened up a lot of the film industry's perspectives. And I think that Drive and Change Summit really they really turned some heads. Because when I was sitting down watching other people on stage talk about their life experiences and the ways for us to understand more about um their perspectives, I saw people next to me putting notes down. They're writing
Mm.
stuff in their notepads or they're writing stuff in their laptops, and it said, for me, from my point of view, yeah, it looked like that they're taking the initiative, and they're taking stuff on board. They were listening, and they want to also improve. They want to also be better, to
They
be
want to
more.
make change within the
Yes, they want to make
industry.
change. They want to be more
Mm.
inclusive. Yeah, they want to they want to do the right thing, and that's what a lot of it was. Yeah, because like they didn't know how to do the right thing. They didn't have the knowledge or the experience. They felt like they were also anxious. I mean, they didn't know want to come across rude or disrespectful. And I
Mm.
think coming to the summit, and then listening to all the other participants, it's definitely a good thing that these people took on board for that. And I hope that I'm looking forward. I know like there'll be another one this year.
Yeah, there will be.
I think they did say there'll be another one next year. This year. So that'll be very exciting. Hopefully I can make it to that, but we'll just have to wait and see if I got any other projects on the horizon.
Yeah, we'll wait and see, mate. Now I asked this question to Tracy when we had her on, and she wanted world domination. But what does Brandon want for Bus Stop Films? Where would you like to see it in 5 to 10 years?
Oh, 5 to 10 years. Where do I want to see bus stop? Definitely like in other countries internationally. I know I've been
Yeah.
seeing just like recently. I think they've just made a trip to Japan.
Yes, yes.
So I know they're doing some stuff over there, and I think that'd be really good.
Mm.
Because there are countries out there that are still not very disabled friendly.
Yes.
Some countries still consider it to be, a curse, or bad luck that, like they don't really like still be a lot of, people who come to Australia, yeah, sort of came sort of for that, or they bring their kids along because there's not a lot of support networks out there. And I think, having certain places like that put in place in those countries that, might not have the right resources or the right guidance or the understanding of, like, someone with a disability, and hopefully, make some art, make something meaningful, and then, screen it at their place. And yeah, it's like they understand, like it's like appreciate and hope that they can, evolve, gain some more insight, and give people with disabilities a chance, because yeah, there are some countries out there that are still like that. And I think if we can get ourselves into some of those countries that don't have many people with disabilities, or like, certain services that cater for people with
Yeah.
disabilities, I think having this, having bus stop, in some of those countries would be very critical. And I think this, yeah, internationally would be perfect. I mean, like, just having it across, a few different, across the globe, from, Canada
Yeah.
to the States, UK,
UK. Mm.
Germany, Czech Republic, Switzerland.
All over.
Yeah, so all over. I think, I think that's, yeah. I guess in a way it is very similar to what Tracy said, which is world domination. But it
Yeah.
would be good, yeah, going to places that are still friendly, and then, just, like, spreading the good word, spreading the bus, and then yeah, getting to those areas that, might be a bit more not inclusive, and then trying, sort of change their perspectives. Um,
Absolutely,
and
mate.
yeah, so that's, and that's what I want to do. Like, I mean, it's something that I want to take away from Bustle Films myself. Because I mean, I'm not sure if I'll be doing this forever. But no, if I was to, work on, if my acting career picks up, or the company that I'm in picks up quite well, a lot of the stuff that I learned from Bustle Films, I will be transferring over from their knowledge, their views, to my company.
Well, there's no doubt
And
it will, mate. And I remember, I think it was at the Driving Change Summit. I had a chat with Seema Dudley. I think is that her
yeah, yeah,
last
yep, yep,
name?
yep,
Yeah,
Thema, yep.
yeah,
I
it
think
is.
yes,
I
yeah,
hope I'm pronouncing that right because she'll watch this. Um, she said to me, like, eventually she's a part of the employment team, but
yeah,
eventually she wants all employment members to eventually go out on their own and end up having their own production companies or their own
mm,
jobs, and being able to hire people from bus stop, and we give them the call and say, hey, we want a few people to come on board on this project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think
yes,
that's what the
definitely.
goal is ultimately.
For them
Yep,
anyway, as a
that's,
company.
yeah, that is exactly what I'm feeling like. That's what I want.
Mm.
I want to take what I've learned from these guys, incorporate that into my sort of, philosophy, views, um, and then yeah, give people with disabilities, opportunities, from bus stop films to other disability providers, just give them a chance to work on a set, learn a new trade, and just have a good time. Just like, feel like, feel like they're welcome, feel like, they're appreciative, and that, their voices are being heard. And that's, another thing would be, having those, when you're writing a script and you need to have certain people with disabilities on board, then you have them involved in the writers' room, and you speak to them,
Yes.
gain their insight, and then pay them for their time, and then, incorporate
Mm,
that into the script, so when they watch it, then like they people will understand. They'll be like, now you know what I go through, like what I feel like every day. And I think that's,
absolutely, mate.
that's critical.
I ultimately want Bus Stop to be on the Academy stage and potentially win an award. So
Oh yeah,
hopefully that
yeah.
will happen.
Oscars, like, no, you name it, like, yeah, the
No, they get-
Oscars, the European version of the Oscars,
Yep.
everywhere, like, no, literally everywhere that they have awards ceremonies, across the globe, and just, that's what I want to do. I want to be in everything. I want to work my ass off in Australia, then, do some stuff in the States, of course, Canada, move over to some of the other sort of countries, Europe, and do some stuff to sort down there. I just want to go all over. I want to do
Yeah.
everything, man. I love it.
Mm.
It's my passion. It's my goal. It's what I want to do in my life. And yeah, I'll do what I have to do to continue my dream.
Absolutely. I love that answer. Brandon, you've been an absolutely great guest. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for
Yeah,
coming on.
thank you again. Like, no, thank you again. No, Charlie, Lewis. Like, thank you guys. Like, no, you guys are absolute legends.
No
This is
worries.
a great podcast.
We've got one last question.
Oh yes, I love the one last questions. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give to a young Brandon about to embark on his journey in the theatre, or about to go onto his first film set? What would you give that young Brandon advice? What would you say?
What would I say? Honestly, I'd probably say something like, no, just don't be too hard on yourself. I think, just take each day as it goes. Just do the best that you can to learn. If you have any issues, speak up. Don't feel afraid to not ask questions, and be humble. Remember where you came from. Remember your roots. Just because you made it in the big leagues doesn't mean you can't forget the little people. That you can't forget the people that helped you and pushed you along the way. And I think that'll be my takeaway from this, because that's what I want to make sure that I keep in my head whenever I'm working on any projects from back then till now, is to remember that I am just a human being. We all make mistakes, but just remember to be humble. No one, no matter how big your position is, how powerful you are, just be humble. It doesn't cost to be nice. It costs nothing to be kind, and that's how I look at life. I want to be kind. I just want to go through life, being positive, working with people that are passionate, not being around people who are toxic or negative or bringing you down all the time. Like, people that bring you up. That's
absolutely.
Yeah. Be around people that brings you up, not bring you down. So that'd be my my little takeaway, my little wisdom to my younger self, if I somehow manage to get a time machine.
What a great answer.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, Brandon. It's been a privilege
so much,
seeing
guys.
you again, and I'm sure we'll see each other in person down the line once again.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. No, thank you so much again for having me, guys. You both have a lovely week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys, hopefully, in person one day soon.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Take care, mate.
Thank you.
See you guys. Bye.
What a great conversation with Brandon. He loves a bit of a chit chat, but it's always great to catch up with a mate as well. If you want to learn more about Brandon's work, a link to all of his socials will be in the description below. And if you want to learn more about Twin Times, a link to Charlie and I's socials will be in the description below. Other than that, this has been the Twin Times podcast. We wish you nothing but peace and love throughout the rest of the week. If you are on Spotify, please give us a rating out of 5 stars and a follow. And if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Other than that, we'll see you in the next one.